Hello, termites. How you doing? Tonight, I just sneezed. Hope it's not COVID. Tonight, we have a little vanilla Crown Royal. You a Crown person? A little Canadian? Crown for you? If you do, I would suggest trying the vanilla. It's delicious. What else? The unicorn's back. See, some of you worried, where did it go? Did you think I threw it out? No, I will not throw it out until I go back to work. So I don't know how long that'll be. Some comedians are trying clubs. Doesn't seem to be going great. A couple people did the drive-in thing, but that's more of a Bert Kreischer thing. That's not really a... Oh. And I saw they did a couple, and I didn't see any more. So I don't know how that went. I haven't asked Bert. I think Gaffigan did one also, maybe two. I think I'm just going to read Storytime to you guys and be content that I'm with the termites, and this is enough. It's what we got. It's safe. It's for sure safe. And we're getting to the good part now, because there's an intervention happening. Let's see if she goes. I think she'll go. I thought about a lot of things when I was sitting there. I was told that Dad had planned this for a long time, and everybody had known about it for months. Ooh. Mother and Dad had known in October when we were in Dallas for my birthday, and they gave me the new Mercedes. They knew then. Traitors! Traitors! You knew and you didn't tell me. Just get it over with. Crutch had known when we were in the Bahamas. Barb, Dean, Paul, and Shirley had known during the ski event. Jesus Christ, they all ganged up for months. Jim Fogelsong had known too. He had approached Dad. Dad had approached him months earlier and said, like it or not, the label was going to have to accept the fact that I needed 30 days to clean up. Jim had told Dad that the label would stand behind whatever decision the family made. I thought about Dad chasing all over the country and working his butt off to get me in the music business. I thought about the fact that half the guys in Nashville was doing drugs and I was the one they wanted to send up the river. Yeah, that's some bullshit. I know that's beside the point, but that's what I was thinking. I get it. I knew I got out of control sometimes, but I didn't think I needed to go to a clinic because of it. All right. I just sat there staring into space, and once again I caught my dad's teary eye. He looked like his heart was broken. Suddenly he came over and dropped down on his knees. My God, Tanya, please get help. Your mother and I love you so much. We're sick from worrying over you. Your bags are already packed, the facilitator said. Blech. I knew I was beat, so I looked at my mother and said, let's go. Mother, Shirley, Royce, and Barb accompanied me to the airport. I don't think anybody said much. Shirley offered to keep my dog, Lucy, while I was gone. I started staring out the car window, and I just kept saying to myself, you can get through this, Tanya. I didn't believe I needed to go, but if that's what everyone wanted, then I'd just damn well do it. Just like always, I tried to do what made them happy. Mother came with me on the plane, and there was no conversation. She couldn't speak, and I didn't want to. I just wanted to get to the clinic, do my 30 days, and get out, like it's prison. I just want to do my time and get on out. I got to Rancho Mirage in the Betty Ford Center and checked in late that night. It was a very nice place, and certainly didn't look like a prison, but I felt like jail was where I was headed. I knew that for the next 30 days I'd be under supervision, and I think we've all seen how Tanya has done with supervision so far. And I knew that and even though I knew I could leave at any time, I knew I wouldn't. Not after seeing my dad on his knees in tears. They checked me in and searched my luggage for liquor and drugs, including non-prescription drugs. You can't even have most kinds of mouthwash because of the alcohol content. I ended up with 3 other women in the swamp. The room where Elizabeth Taylor had stayed when she was there. Well, at least she got the good room. I'm sure she got the good one. They explained that every room had a granny, meaning the woman who'd be there the longest, and she felt that she was in charge of the day-to-day details connected with our living arrangements. I was told that my middle name, Denise, was what I would be known as since they wanted no mention of me being a celebrity. Boy, they thought they didn't want it. Denise with no last name was fine with me. One of the staff members gave me a book about drug rehabilitation to study in a journal so I could write down my thoughts every day. I hate journaling. Ugh. It's bad enough to have to go to rehab, but now you want me to journal? Anybody who's writing a journal never had brothers. I quit writing journals in 5th grade when they busted into my Holly Hobby diary. And then I knew they did it, so then I started writing fake stuff in there so that they would say it and then I could bust them. Don't write down what you don't want read out loud. That's a little something to live by. God, journaling. I know people say it's good for you, but one of the staff members gave me the book and journal. I had some thoughts, all right. I wrote down the name of every person who ever made me mad and exactly why they were rotten to the core. Okay, see that I could do that. You want a little hate list of people? I could start. I got people already popping in my head, mostly work people. The journal was probably one of the few benefits I got from being there because I did open up in it. The journal was the only place I felt opened up. It wasn't hard for me to cover up how I felt in front of my counselors since I've been hiding feelings my whole life. There had been so many times that the business had run me ragged and all I did was tell everybody it was easy. I'd given the public a flashbulb smile a million times and I knew how to put up a tough front a million more. I had a feeling I was going to get ready to do it again because I wasn't about to spend the next 30 days trying to explain my behavior to strangers. I don't disagree. And how are they going to understand? They don't know what it's like to be famous since they're 13, running around singing Delta Dawn 55 times a day and your father kicking down doors. Yeah. Betty Ford was packed with rich people. And if I were to bet on the one group best represented while I was there, it would be the Washington Wives. Oh, was maybe because of Betty Ford. Oh, and then she says that. Maybe it's because Betty Ford travels in those circles. I don't know, but they were certainly there in force during my stay. After being around those women and seeing how severe their problems were, I knew if I had to pick a way to spend my life other than singing, it would not be as a politician's wife. I don't think any man running for office would probably pick Tanya. A little bit of a firecracker, wild card. Yeah, probably not a suitable arrangement. Did y'all see Tanya jumping up and down at the fundraiser? She shot the moon to everybody. The governor was so embarrassed. At least the only reputation I have to worry about damaging is my own. Those women lived in a reflected spotlight for better or worse, exactly. Everybody there is assigned a job, and I got vacuuming. Oh, I would like that. I love vacuuming, and I love Bona, the Bona thing, because it's like patterns. I like to make, the same reason I like to mow the lawn, lines. I didn't care. As long as I didn't have to clean toilets or be the one in charge of waking everyone up at 5:30. See, why do you do that in rehab? 5:30? Is that necessary? You're going to meetings all day. It's not like there's somewhere to be. How about 6? 6:30? 5:30 is a little military, I think. It's militant. We attended group counseling sessions every morning and afternoon, then had special classes at night, like the bad effects of smoking. Graduates were always coming back to encourage us. I also about fainted when a guy stood up in a meeting and said, "Hello, I'm so-and-so. I hope to die drug addict, alcoholic, son of a bitch motherfucker." I thought, damn, I guess we now know cussing ain't a sin. Ha! There was no free time. You could make a few phone calls if you kept them under 3 minutes, and you could have visitors every Sunday from 1 to 5. Dad, Mother, and LaCosta came, and all it did was make me want to leave with them. But I decided to stick it out. Most of the time I felt like an observer, like I was watching from a faraway place. It was just like me and Liz Taylor to find guys at the Betty Ford. No. I noticed mine at one of the first lectures. Sitting there with his short, sandy blonde hair and athletic build, I also noticed he had a nice face. cute, but also nice. And I was in need of a nice face right about now. He didn't seem to have any deep emotional problems. He was simply a young guy who had some trouble with drugs and was trying to straighten up. The problem with meeting men at the Betty Ford is there's no fraternizing, as they call women and men having anything to do with each other. So my rehab romance was really just a little light flirtation as we passed each other in the halls. As time went by, he started passing notes to me, and I began to think that maybe when we got out of here, we'd get together. I don't think so, Tanya. I don't think so. I think Tanya is what Tanya is the day that it's happening. And probably not a lot of big not a planner. Of course, since you have so little free time, you're in just such a restricted environment, people never know how they relate on the outside. The people who run Camp Betty don't want it to turn into a pickup joint. I bet they didn't think of that. I bet Tanya thought of it. But they probably hadn't really thought about being a pickup joint. We both felt drawn to each other, and after a few weeks of sneaking words here and there, we made a plan. He was being discharged before I, so when I finally checked out, he'd come pick me up, and we could go get to know each other away from the watchful eyes of the staff. Every Saturday, we had classes about a quarter of a mile away at the Annenberg Center, and since the counselors didn't walk right along with us, it felt like getting out of jail. There wasn't supposed to be any talking, but I'd use that time to tell jokes, anything to lighten the mood. Actually, my mood was improving because I decided to perform at the Academy of Country Music Awards on March 16th, the ACMAs, I think they're called. I'd had a standing invitation to perform, but once I checked into Betty Ford, everyone assumed I was out of circulation. After I'd been at the clinic about a week, I used one of my 3-minute phone calls to call Capitol Records to tell them I would be there and ready to perform. I planned on singing If It Don't Come Easy, and sometimes I practiced it while we walked to the center. It was definitely against the rules, but the other inmates loved it. They probably thought, wow, that Denise lady can really sing. Isn't that crazy? What's up with that Denise? She sounds an awful lot like Tanya Tucker. One time, when my usual counselor had been off for a week's vacation, his replacement ratted on me. Every time the group walks to the center, Tanya Tucker has been holding court, he griped. My usual counselor was an okay guy and blew it off. I just thought it was a stupid thing to get up in arms about anyway. I'm the kind of person who will always hold court, and if holding court means telling a few jokes or cutting up. I'm in the business of pleasing people, and that's what I'm doing all my life. Of course, my name was supposed to be Denise, no last name, but by then people had recognized me. Well, yeah. I thought the holding court comment probably had to do with the fact that I'm an entertainer, and I had to wonder if rehab centers really are all that good if you're a public figure. I know it's worked for a lot of them, but I just wondered just the same. And you have a goddamn right to wonder, because this is America. I was busted another time when the guy I'd been carrying on my little flirtation with tried to pass me a note. The counselor grabbed it and read it to the class. Denise, I'm just crazy about you, the counselor read with sarcasm. Made me feel like I was back in grade school. Yeah, what are you doing? These people are adults. We're going to pass notes. I mean, I know Betty Ford's done a lot of good things for people, but it just seems a little militant. All right, termites, we'll go one more paragraph. Get yourself ready. Back in grade school, girls weren't sneaking out to the pavilion to have sex with some guy. They weren't doing cocaine and those things that went on at Betty Ford. I have to believe they go on at any rehab center, because if that many people who have drug and alcohol problems are all rounded up together, somebody's going to find a way to cheat. Right. I know that when I was there, some of the women did cocaine, several were meeting men, and one even attempted suicide. I'm very proud to say that even though I knew how to obtain drugs while I was there, I did not do it. I felt like it would be cussing in church. My standards may have not been high all the time, but I've got them nevertheless. Well, it's a good one, termites. All right. I don't really have much news for you. Not a lot of updates. A little boring. Hockey's on. My Blues are doing all right. They already get a pass into the thing, though, because they were first in the division. But is it really a Stanley Cup? The whole idea of the Stanley Cup is that you have to play all year, and you have to make it to the end when everybody's hurt and tired, and now we're basically doing a round-robin tournament. But it's better than nothing on. So I don't think it'll be I don't think people will respect it as a Stanley Cup, though, right? I mean, even if the Blues won last year, first time in 50,000 years ever. So I'm glad we won in a real season, because I would hate to win this year, especially if you never won, and they go, well, yeah, but that's 2020. Because that's how they would say it. That was 2020. All right, termites. Get your sheet. Pull it up. Get your pillow situated just right. I have a little something I'll tell you about to watch. I found a new thing to watch. But first you have to finish Yellowstone. And my podcast is going to be coming out real soon. I think you can get it. It's not released just yet. It's like not far away, though. A week or two. And you can get that wherever you get podcasts. And then I'm going to film it, too, just like Storytime. So you can watch it on YouTube. Or you just hit play on YouTube. There you have it. All right, termites. You're good termites. You're worthy termites. And it's time to put yourself down. Night-night, termites.